Hello and welcome to the Miniatures Rundown. I'm Cody, and today we have two special guests with us. We have Sara Frazetta and Bob Freeman. Go ahead and introduce
Hello.
yourselves, guys.
Well, thank you for having us, Cody. We're really happy to be here. I'm Sara Frazetta. I am the granddaughter of the fantasy illustrator Frank Frazetta, and I run Frazetta Girls.
And I'm Bob Freeman, and I'm an author and game designer, and I hunt ghosts when I get a
Hey.
chance.
Well, it's nice to
That's
meet both of you. Frank Frazetta was an icon in the fantasy arts. I will admit he was a little before my time, but I am familiar with his stuff. At least seeing it translated into all of the inspiration that he brought on to other creators. So, Sarah, if you wanted to go over that a little bit with us, explain the legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you recognize it. I know you. I recognize that you are very young, but he is the godfather of fantasy art for a reason, and he is the reason that so many of these worlds now exist. And I'm still discovering how much he impacted everything that we know in pop culture now. So don't feel bad, Cody. It's we'll teach you.
Sounds good. I look forward to it. So, you guys decided to team up and make a board game out of it. So
Yeah.
how did that process start?
So there's never been a Frazetta game, and we had this property, Fire and Ice, that has been stagnant for about 35 years now,
Mhm.
and we wanted to just explore the lore of Fire and Ice, and it was really Bob who was going to share more about this process that it came to us, and he said, why aren't you guys doing anything with this world of Fire and Ice and this world of Frank Frazetta in terms of gaming? And I said, it's a great question, Bob. So then we just started working on it and partnered with Dynamite, and this is our first shot. So we're learning as we go, and it's been an interesting journey, hasn't it, Bob?
It sure has. Yeah, it's. I've been obsessed with Fire and Ice since it came out in '83. I went to see it 4 times in the theater, so I was like 17 when it came out. So it hit me just right at the right time. So for all these years, I've just had an obsession, and it was actually Ralph Bakshi's Twitter. He had posted a picture from the movie, and I commented that hey, this would make a really great RPG. And Sara messaged me and she said, hey, do you want to talk about that some more? And I said, absolutely, Sara Frazetta, yeah. So I slid into her DMs, and we've
In the
been
most
friends ever
appropriate
since.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in the best way to slide into your DM. So yeah, Bob is the mastermind behind this game, and when I first started reading the cards and seeing what he could do with writing and bringing this reinvigorating the property, I was really excited. Bob, talk about like how you viewed Tigra in this game, like more into the
Yeah.
character development.
So with Tiger, right? So if you watch the movie, because they were limited with time, and there was a writer strike going on, a writers and actor strike at the time. So they had to get this movie out really fast, and so a lot of the nuance of Tigra you see on the screen, but a lot of it was kind of left in the screenplay itself. But I think what you pull from her is a strength and a vitality. And so when we first started developing this, I wanted to expand on that and explore what she would be like as she grew older and became a queen and came into her own. Just a fascinating character, and it's true of so many of the characters in the movie. If you watch it on a surface level, it's one thing, but if you really pay attention, to me, the best character in the movie is Manga. He has the most depth, and he does not speak words, right? But
Yeah.
the actor conveys everything you need to know about his ambition and how he moves around everything. I mean, you got all the flash from Necron and Juliana, but Manga, he is diabolical, and and just manipulative, and he's on a mission. So we really expand that character in the game too. So
Yeah,
the thing
that's
about
a cool point to make is this movie uses rotoscoping, which you don't really see anymore, but it's where they actually like film out the action and then they kind of just draw over it, you know. So like the actor gets a lot of credit towards that because he, you know,
right,
knew how to use his body language to portray that.
right. Do you know what my favorite thing about the rotoscoping is?
What's
When they
that?
were filming that stuff, they had all these stuntmen there, and they would tell the stuntman, "Hey, we want you to do this or that," and the stuntman go, "Hey, we can't. There's no way we can do that." And Frank's there, right? And Frank's in
Hmm.
his mid-50s at this time, and he says, "No, watch it." And he'd go out there and perform these stunts
Oh wow.
that
It's
the
true.
stuntmen thought were impossible. And he was just a beast. He was a tremendous athlete, and so
Yeah,
I
that's
think
all
that's why
true,
he was
Bob.
such a great
And
painter. Yeah,
oh, for sure, for
yeah. I
sure.
mean,
And
yeah, it's obvious. Yeah.
he just knew, and I told this before too, to add to what Bob just said. He even had to show Tigra, the live actress who played Tigra. He had to show her how to walk. He's like, you need to sway the hips a little bit more, be more cat-like. So he just had just this ability to move like anything or anyone, an animal, a person, a man, a woman, because he was just so damn athletic. So that is a
I
cool
bet
point,
he was
Bob.
a hell of a dancer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He could do anything. He was one of those people you just are like, why are you so good at everything? Go away.
That's pretty great. So, talking about how it kind of that answer actually answered one of the questions I was going to ask. Um, is it like something where you just kind of act out the game, or I see that you are releasing this alongside a new comic of that, so you're actually using this game to kind of also expand on the universe and not just kind of be a replay of the movie, essentially.
Yep. So the skirmish aspects of the game, we were very careful to take every character, look at what they did in the movie, and you can recreate everything they did. They have all those abilities, and I mean meticulously every little aspect of it. It's all there on the cards. It's all there to play. And then when you expand that into the RPG, you can add abilities and stuff, and so the characters can grow, or you can create your own characters in that aspect. So that was really important for us to make this a dual game where you could play it as a board game or play it as an RPG or both. And I think it really works. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking at the rules, and there's actually quite a few like game types that you can play out of it, as well as having an RPG, like almost like D&D sitting down, but in this universe. So like it kind of covers all the bases on the tabletop, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, the game modes was important, right? So that way it adds versatility. When you're playing skirmish games, if you get there's a solo mode if you want to play it by yourself. Just you and a buddy get together, or you could sit down 10, 12 people if you want. So there's game modes that cover all that. And my one of my favorite modes is the fire and ice mode, and that's where you're actually moving the game board as the
Yeah, I saw that. That
glacier
was a very
is moving
interesting
across.
mechanic.
The terrain is interactive, so
Mhm.
fun.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna have to play it in the museum. Um, first
Yeah,
official game with the
absolutely.
Frazetta girls. That'll be fun.
I look forward to that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll live stream it.
Yeah, so getting into we're miniatures rundown, so we kind of love miniatures, and this game has some pretty awesome miniatures for it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really
Thank you.
proud of the miniatures. Yeah, I love the design of those. I was having a great time watching those come in and really critiquing them. That was Joe, my partner in Frazetta Girls. and a couple designers and Bob all working together to bring those to life, and seeing Tigra on that little scale, it's a dream come true. I think my favorite miniature of all, though, has to be Necron. That movement, and I mean, Bob, what's your favorite mini of the whole series?
Well, nobody's seen it yet, but Relial is my favorite right now.
Oh shoot, I forgot about her. She's okay. Yeah, I changed my answer.
She's so dynamic. I mean, just like, yeah,
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah. Mine's
yeah, her and
Darkhold.
Otwa.
He looks like
Oh,
absolutely like he's just in his berserker's rage, and it's so cool, and can't wait to
He's
see that
jumping
one.
right over, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, the face, everything, and it's just like like you said, the flexion of his arms. He's totally in berserk mode. I love it. I think a lot of people are gonna have fun painting them. That's like the miniature community. You guys all have a great time doing that, right? Showing off
Yeah,
the minis painted, and yeah, that's what you do.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how you do them. That's crazy. Like that's so small. I'm like too blind to do that.
It takes a little while to get there. Like I wouldn't even say that I'm particularly good yet. I've only been in that hobby for a couple years now, but it's fun nonetheless.
What kind of paint do you use?
And I like to see the guys that mod them out, right? They'll be cutting heads off,
Yeah,
melting
that's
heads onto the bodies, changing weapons. It'll be
that's
fun
Wow.
to see
that's
what
my
everybody does.
thing. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. But to answer we use acrylic paint. Like there's very hobby specific paints. You can use just like the ones you can find at like a super center somewhere, like the apple barrel paint. But people don't really recommend those just because of pigment and coverage and stuff like that. But yeah, there's specific paints. It's not quite the same like as the old like model cars type paint that
Hmm.
people used to use back when I was growing up. But yeah,
Awesome. God, I'm gonna have to paint the minis for sure. Like these will be my first minis I've ever painted. And a magnifying
No,
glass. I mean, you have to. It's like they're like this big. It's not,
hmm
okay.
right.
All right. Got it.
for
Got it.
sure.
I'll have to tune in more to get more specifics of this world. This is
Oh,
interesting.
it goes very deep, very deep.
Yeah.
But so speaking of models we haven't seen yet, this is a Kickstarter. I don't know if we've mentioned that yet, but there are stretch goals. You guys have already kind of blown your original goal out of the water, so now we're just kind of working on stretch goals from the looks of it.
Yes, we just unlocked Prince Tarot, and he was at an 85K stretch goal. And Bob, you want to talk about that next stretch goal at 100?
Okay, yeah. So this is exclusive. I don't think it's gone up yet. So the 100K is the Firekeep map, a custom-made Frazetta die, and two minis, Relial and Atwa, the mother-son duo. So they're fantastic miniatures. The sculptors did a tremendous job on it. I did the map, so I know it's awesome. And that Frazetta die is going to be very desirable.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
didn't even know that. So wow, here we are.
yeah, that sounds awesome.
This is
But
great.
Joe and I have been working on that behind the scenes. So
Yeah, I mean, he's just in the other room, and he didn't tell me that, but here we are learning on the miniatures rundown. It's great.
Yeah, you can never have too many dice either.
No,
That's
right.
another big thing in these hobbies. Dice, lots of them.
I like dice. I get dice. Like I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the miniatures make sense too. This is
Yeah.
just a whole world. It's crazy. You can get lost in this for sure.
Yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, some of this artwork was before my time and whatnot, and like I'm not super knowledgeable on comic books. Like I know of them, I know titles, I know some of the stuff Dynamite's done, but these hobbies are so closely related that they they share a Venn diagram more often than not. So even people who are out there who are not big comic book fans, could definitely find a lot of enjoyment out of a game like this, and then maybe even fall deeper into another hobby later.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if the base of it, the core of it is all a love for storytelling. And I wouldn't say that I'm a a huge comic enthusiast myself. I'm newly reading comics, so but now diving into it, I understand the love for it, just because, I mean, again, like I said, it's at the core of it is just great storytelling. And our goal with making this Fire and Ice prequel series comic was to not retell the movie in a comic series. It was to tell the prequel, what happened before the huge showdown of Fire and Ice. And we went back a few years, and it was written by Bill Willingham, and the original was written by Jerry Conway and Roy Thomas. And the way Bill tied their story in together, and kind of brought you on this journey from a few years before to the movie, was really well crafted. And then, of course, the art by Leonardo Manco, it just like pulls you right into that world. So I think what we all want to do with gaming, reading comics, watching movies, we just want to have a place to escape for a little bit, and have a place that we wish we lived in. Well, at least me. When I'm reading these comics, I'm like, I want to live there.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. It's my little quiet place when I'm painting miniatures. Nothing else in the world matters at that
Yeah.
moment.
Anything that just helps your brain stop. Just to get into a meditative state. That's, I think, what we all have in common. And whatever brings you there, that's the goal.
Definitely, definitely. So expanding on the comic a little bit, well, I mean, I guess not on the comic, but on what the comic might bring after the Kickstarter. What's the plan with the game? Does the growing the prequel and telling more of an extended universe type style story, is that gonna maybe are we gonna see expansions in the future? Just more kind of regular releases of minis, maybe?
That's
Bob?
that's the hope, right? Yeah. So as long as people want to buy them, we're more than happy to make them, right? So there are a lot of characters that we haven't touched on this, mainly because we wanted to be able to expand in further into the world, and we're wanting to kind of push the stories beyond the movie, what happened afterwards. And you get some of that in the RPG, where I deal with if you read the RPG rules, you see that it's told from the perspective of Queen Tigra many years down the road. So she's in charge of Firekeep. She has a young daughter named Tara, and they're speaking to ghosts and learning about the world. And that whole extension, there's a whole story there that we've crafted, that Sarah and I kind of talked it through quite a bit. And I sent her a treatment. She loved it. And then we talked and we expanded it. And yeah, so there's a lot more story down the road that we really get to play with. What happens to Dark Wolf afterwards? What happened to Larn? Yeah, so all that's, still to come.
And that's what I loved about this. It's like we have the prequel comic series, and we have the sequel RPG miniatures adventure game. And that's what I wanted, because I just have a little bit of a worry about just trying to redo something when it already stands on its own. It doesn't need to be redone. We just need to add to it. So everyone on our creative team has been in agreement to that, and I think we've done a great job as a team.
Yeah. It's important that Fire and Ice become a living thing, right? The movie is great and it's beautiful, but there's a world that still needs to be explored. I mean, there's plenty of prequel stuff that I want to know about. A young Jarl, right? Who obviously is friends with Dark Wolf. Did they adventure together? I mean, I'm always thinking about, maybe because I look like him, but King Jarl, as a young man, just this vibrant, how alike he was with Dark Wolf, the immortal warrior. So yeah, so lots of prequels to go into, lots of sequels to go into. It's a huge world that's got a lot of potential.
Absolutely. It's exciting stuff for sure. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to go on as far as the Kickstarter? Did we not cover anything specifically?
What do you think, Bob? Do we miss anything?
Well, no, but we've got what 18 days left in the campaign,
That's
so
a
there's
good.
still plenty of time for people to get in, and we still got a lot of things yet to be revealed, and yeah, so it's this is when the Kickstarter gets exciting.
Right. Yeah, you guys are starting to hit those stretch goals, and if you guys go and check this out later, they have like little question marks and like the silhouette of the miniatures and stuff like that. But if you watch the movie yesterday, like I did, you can already tell what's coming, and it's very exciting.
Yeah,
And
I like that. That's a little question mark.
Yeah.
and we just came up with some new ideas today that are going to be implemented, so they're really top secret. So
Oh wow.
yeah, definitely
So
you want
top
to get
secret,
in
I
now.
don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the dice was on that list.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, thank you, Cody. We appreciate your time.
yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Absolutely, everybody, check out the Kickstarter. See if it's your thing. Check out just the Frazetta legacy and like how crazy deep it goes. Again, it just earlier this week, it was something I was aware of, and the amount of looking into just for this interview I've done, I'm really surprised uh, just how deep it goes. And you've probably, if you don't know the name, you've probably seen something before or seen something that was based off of Frank Frazetta's work. Like I think George Lucas was one of the big names that even said that he was inspired by his work. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Just goes on and on and on.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole video in itself.
It is. It's there, and it is a lot to take in. Like I've been doing this for a while now, and I'm still learning every single day about my grandpa's impact and his legacy, his career. It's pretty deep. So thank you for doing that, Cody. Thanks for diving in. I'll help
Absolutely.
you in any way you want to learn more about Frazetta. But thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you guys. It's been fun.